Okay, we're going to make some candy. It's just an old recipe. I've used this for a long time. My wife loves this stuff. It's called soda cracker candy. And basically, it's an all recipe. What is it? Allrecipes.com has it in there under the name soda cracker candy. So basically we have a 10 by 15 pan. We've lined it with silver foil. You can use parchment paper, non-stick foil paper, whatever, but you've got to use something. You can't just do it onto the pan. I've lined it with crackers. As you can see, it's almost one sleeve. Now in here I've got a cup of butter. They call for a cup and a half. I've made this for several years and I find a cup is plenty. So I have a cup of butter in here. Again, they call for a cup and a half of brown sugar. I don't do that. I use straight up 1 cup and it's packed, as you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Almost. There we go. Packed brown sugar, 1 cup. Boom. Got a boom, got a boom, got a bang. Now what I'm going to do is take it over to the stove. Let's see. I'm going to take it over to the stove. Me and Boo here. And we're going to go ahead and heat it up. Melt that down. And what we're going to end up with is a syrup. We're going to pour the syrup over top of this. And we're going to slide it into a 400-degree oven. And we're going to let it bake for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to pull it out. And then what we're going to do is put chocolate chips and almond slivers on here. And we'll push them down with this guy. Get them good and push down into the liquid. And then you've got to let it refrigerate for about 3 hours till it's good and hard. Once it's good and hard and everything's good to go, you bring it back. You can either lay a cloth on it, you can drop it on the table. But what you're going to do is bust it just like you would a bark. Same thing. Bag it up. You're good to go. People love it. I don't know. Simple stuff. I don't care for it. But I'm not a sugar guy. So get this stuff here cooked up. Get it on there. Get it in the oven. Get the other ingredients, and then I'll be back to show you what happened. Okay, I can't show you this, but one thing I didn't mention was that when you're doing this, you need to get it to a boil, and then boil it for 3 minutes. And do this slowly, don't do it fast. Because like any candy, you're trying to candy this. Okay, so it's going to come up and turn into a foam almost, like a sea foam. And sorry, I'd adjust the camera, but in this case, if I adjust the camera, there's a chance I'm going to burn this. And we don't want to do that. Egads. Alright, so we got it going for 3 minutes. Now the whole trick of the game is to take this hot foamy stuff, I don't think you can see it really well, but and pour it over it. Now what baking will do is run this over everything. So don't get too carried away with thinking you got to get every corner covered, because it's not like that. You just want to get all of this goodness out of here. As my wife would say, don't leave the goodness. She'll take it all. Like I said, I don't make this very often, but I decided to do it today for my wife, who works very hard around here taking care of all of the animals. Okay. Now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 5 minutes. And again, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see I've got some holes and stuff in there. Don't worry. It'll spread. As long as your oven's flat. If your oven's not flat, you're in trouble. Flat, level, whatever you want to call it. All right. I gotta make a fast run out to the freezer. We have multiple freezers. I have to go get some stuff. And this is just about ready over here. This is a recipe I had done earlier for my daughter. We'll be right back. Actually, yeah. I got the almonds. Chocolate chips, we need 24 ounces. Yes, 24 ounces. So, get out the old trusty scale. I say trusty and then the thing doesn't start. That's just marvelous. Alright, so we're going to do ounces. Let's zero this thing out. Yeah, Ernie. Ernie is a cat that we've had for decades. He is one old booger. So when he talks, we don't shut him up because that's just Ernie. Yeah, I buy my chocolate chips in big bags. There's a lot of chocolate chips, I'm going to tell you what. This is not a cheap one. I keep my chocolate chips in the freezer along with my yeast and my nuts and everything so that nothing goes bad on me because I can't afford that, you know. Okay, I hear the timer. Alright, we're going to take this guy off the cooling rack. I'm going to come over here. Oh. Yeah. She's done do her thing. Yep. Now, unfortunately, a little corner of it didn't get cut. Don't think about it, Ernie. A corner of it didn't get covered. No, it didn't, Ernie. So we're going to take and help it out a little bit. If we can. It's not a terrible thing. And what we want to do is sprinkle the almonds first and then I think the other ones, yes? Yeah. We want chocolate chips first. I almost made a mistake. Shoot. If you can get away with not using them all, then by all means don't use them all. Also a tip is that if you do, like I do, store yours in a freezer, remember that is going to make a big difference in how they apply it. When you're done, you shouldn't see any of your crackers. And as you can see, It's starting to flatten. And now what we'll do is a layer of almonds on top of that. As I said earlier, this isn't a cheap cracker. This isn't a cheap candy bar. This is an expensive cracker. This is an expensive one because these ingredients today, unless you're lucky enough to have an almond tree and a cocoa plant in your backyard, are rather expensive. Now you don't want to put so much of this on that you lose a lot of it. You will, I guarantee it. It just is what happens. But try to get enough to cover it, and then keep in mind, give it a few minutes, and then go through patting it down so that hopefully the almonds have a tendency to go in rather than float away. That's going to get messy. See? There's nothing I can do about that. That's just the way it goes. I want as much of this stuff to become part of the candy bar rather than become part of the sweep up. One thing I meant to try, and I don't know if it would really do me any good. I got a few here. Now this is not part of the recipe, mind you. This is what's left from what they called for. Now my oven is off. But I guarantee you it's still hot. So what I want to do, this is just a trial and error, you know. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I want to try something. Let's leave it in the oven for a couple of minutes. See what we get out of it. We're hoping that it gels a little more. See what we got going here. We're sweating. We should be able to melt it down in there in a minute. But that's it. Now once this comes out of the oven, it will have to set and cool, and then it has to go into the refrigerator. But in order to cool, we're going to put it over in our proof box, which isn't on, it's off, so there's shouldn't be any issue in there. It's a safe environment from guys like Ernie, our cat. Offset spatula. I like to do it this way, just to make sure everything Okay, so what we've got then is a completed version. This is the wife's once a year favorite. And that's what we have. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Again, we'll put the 2 names of the different authors for the 2 products that we've done today. Hopefully this inspires you to do some of this yourself. But right now, I'm going to clean up, and I've got to head out into the shop where I change from this type to a leather one because I've got work to do out there. You have a good day now.